Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back to Primary Teaching with Dom. Welcome back, welcome back to Primary Teaching with Dom.
I did, I think 2 weeks ago, I did what to expect on your PGCE in September, and now this video is going to be what to expect from your NQT in September. So let's get on with the video. In September, for you great people that stuck through that PGCE, you know, you got there, you rolled, tumbled, and somersaulted your way from that PGCE into NQT. You finally got that job after looking forever, doing that long, credulous personal statement, and your school accepted you, did the interview, and whoop, you're now going to September. Now I know during, you know, the Rona, things are a little bit different, but apparently what Boris said, that, you know, there's no social distance anyway, so it will effectively be back to what it always was. So I'll do this with my hands, I don't know. Anyway, so when you go in September, you will go in before that, because obviously you need to look at your classroom. And I don't just mean I'm going to go look at and fight and see the teachers and look at my classroom and walk away. You've got to set up your classroom, because when the children come in September, they need to see a classroom that is at least 80% done. Now, obviously throughout your time with your NQT, you'll have working walls where it will consistently change. So that's not necessarily a big thing, or you might change a topic. I like to call it humanities. So like topic humanities like history and geography and all that, so that might change, but I'm talking about the things that will stay. So when I was in year 1, I had my phonics stuff up there. I had, you know, in all years you have your common exception words, birthdays, you might have reading ladders or reading whatever you might do at your school for reading. You might have your question words like which, qual, and what, que, and why, porque. It's Spanish, sorry. But you might have your which, why, how, and all those kind of stuff, you know, on your walls. And you might have, when I was on my NQT, I've done it twice now, I have a wall that has all their pictures on it. So that means, because sometimes when you got at the beginning of your NQT, you don't know the children names, and you can try as hard as you can, but you'll forget. So I will sometimes look at the wall and be like, Rosemary. Okay, so I'll have a wall of that. So it depends how you want your class to be done and how your school, there might be a reward section as well. I think all schools will have a reward section with their values and all that for the school. So you want to come in and do that. Now that does take time. You want to do labels for your books. You want to put their coat page, you want to have their names in it. I'm not gonna lie to you, it does take time. It's not a very easy boom job. So if you're at home as an NQT, now, I would say if you can, start printing off like the question words. If you know your children's names, kind of type them on Word into a document so you can print them off, ready. A laminator is life, because I've learnt that and I had to buy my own. I think I've now lost it. So get all those little stuff ready. I wouldn't say now, you know, start buying things. Please don't buy anything, please. Twinkle if you want to, because twinkle you will see you will need sometime throughout your life, but don't be buying a lot. So when you come in September, before that, let's say August time, you go into your classroom, you'll be happy as Larry, you'll be, oh my goodness me, I'm so excited, doing the book corner, doing all of that, because it's your first time having your own class all by yourself. Your first ever classroom with your name on the door is exciting, trust me. Woo! So then you'll go into September. September will start. You'll have inset days. You have 1 or 2 inset days. This is where you're learning policy. Ooh, I forgot. Before that, you will need to do educare courses, you know, on safeguarding, FGM, all the different things that you need to know before. So you need to print them off before you get into school. So that does take a while as well. My handy tip is to do the PDF version on the side of your computer and then do the test, and you can read that way. So you'll still learn, up to you, but I've learned that trick. Anyway, so you will then start in September. You'll have 2 inset days where you're going through policies, you're going through English policy, the maths policy, all types of policies where you're bored. It's all day, literally all day, where you're just going through what you need to know. Now, as an NQT, it's best that you make notes at this point. Bring your notebook and make loads of points, because this is what you're going to need when you start in a day or two after. So know all the fire safety points, know where to go if the fire alarm goes off, know what happens at lunchtime. Ask all these type of questions, because it seems silly to ask, oh, where do they go for lunchtime? Or do they need to have their tags on for lunchtime? But it's little things that become an annoyance if you don't know, if that makes sense. So get it all done, especially if you have a TA that's new as well. So I did in my first year, I had one experienced TA who was there last year, but the other TA I had, she was never there, so we were learning on the job together. You'll have your next inset day, but I think it'll be half day, and during that half day, when in the afternoon you will see your TA, you go to your class and you start to talk about what you're planning, and you can get with your cohorts. If you're in year one, you'll be with your year one cohort. If you're in year two, and so on and so on. So you'll be in that cohort, you'll talk about planning, you'll talk about what's happening for that week, you'll be with your TAs, you get to sort out the rest of your classroom, and then boom! The children come into the classroom, and this is the single most best day of the year, because it's exciting. The children are seeing you. They might have, I think they would have seen your face before, because the school would have sent out a letter showing who you are, or if not your face, at least your name, so they know who you are. You're at the door, all happy Larry, like all excited, and they come in. Now, throughout your NQT, you will have observations every single term. And those observations and then those will be written up on your NQT. So, like before, where you would get a grade 1, 2, 3, whatever not, it's somewhat similar now, and I've forgotten what it was, but they changed the name. So it's 3 steps. It's no, I think it was letters A, B, and C. So you have A, exceeding, B, on track, and then C is where you're developing and you're getting there. Now, on your first one, it's okay to get a C because you're developing, you're getting there. But when it comes to the end, guys, I wouldn't say you want to be on there. You would want to be on a B. I think it is letters. If it's not letters, it's numbers. I've totally forgot now. Either or. It's either 1, 2, 3 or A, B, C. A, B, C. Easy as 1, 2, 3. So that's what you will do. Now, as the time goes on, they are going to expect more from you, as they will do in your PGCE. But obviously this time, they're looking at everything. They're looking at your classroom environment. They're looking at your teaching. They're looking at your behavior. They're looking at your lesson plan. They're looking at how you use your TA. All the different things, basically your teacher standards is what they use in your NQT, if that makes sense. So everything that you've been doing, they're going to do that again, but this time you're all by yourself from the very beginning. You will get support. You will get your NQT mentor that will follow you throughout your journey. I had a different one when it came to January, because one of the teachers that I did have stopped mentoring me, and I had another one. And then what will happen is you'll have your first assessment where they will say, Dom, we're going to come into your classroom at 10:15 on Tuesday, and whatever lesson you're teaching is what we're going to observe. So my first lesson, I remember it, was maths that they observed me in. They will come in, as they would do on a normal observation, they'll just walk in. It can be from the very, 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 very beginning, or it will be 5 minutes in. They'll walk in and they will sit down. They will start observing you from that moment that they've entered that room. So just know that. And we've been on the PGC or all the other things that, teach first or whatever you've done, about observation. You have one in the autumn term, then you will have one in the spring term. Now that is when they're expecting a bit more things to work on throughout that time. And they will do informal observations, and they call it drop-ins in my school, where they will come in and you will not even know they're coming in. They'll just walk in to a lesson. They'll drop in, they'll make notes. They might ask the children, which mine did all the time, what are you learning today? And you would just stand as a teacher, you'd be like, and you'll be like, teacher, don't pick that child, and they do. So they will do drop-ins as well, making sure that the targets that you have are being met. So it's not just, oh, it will be the next observation and then they'll meet your targets. It's throughout. So they will see if they made the target of behavior management, that you need to be more assertive with behavior management, they will come in and check that that's being done throughout the time. It might be once a week, it might be twice a week. So you will get to your next official observation, and then it will be then they'll write it up on your NQT manager. So that is where you'll see what they've written, and you'll make your comments, and then you'll send it. When I had the summer one, my head teacher, she dropped in throughout the whole day. And when I mean the whole day, I mean from 9 o'clock all the way to 2:30 p.m. And she would drop in throughout, and she'll come in, she'll sit down, she'll observe that lesson, and she'll go. But I was never told what lesson she's coming into. So that day, I remember I had phonics, maths, English, and then I had topic, and that topic was history. So she came throughout the whole day. She observed me in phonics and English, and she dropped in at the end as well. So that's what she did. She just came in, sat down, right down, didn't really look at me. Or when she did, you know, it's so stoic. It's just like, you think you're doing something wrong, observe, leave, come back in, observe. You don't pass your NQT, which is very, 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 very rare, guys, because if they see that something's not going right, they will put things in place to help you. Now, to be transparent, as I told you in my on my NQT video, the truth about my NQT, I was one of those people that kind of fell behind or wasn't doing so well in my next observation. So that was my spring observation. And they put in so much things in place for me to pass, to be the great teacher I am now. I thought I'm great, so I don't know, I'm the manual. So they will do all that stuff for you guys. So don't worry. If you feel that you're falling behind, or they're telling you, oh, you're not doing as well as we want you to be, they will have to put things in place. They can't just fail you on the spot. They can only fail you if they put everything they can in place and you're still not doing as well as they want you to. But trust me, I'm a turnaround story. I was down there, I had so much things in place where I had people observing me 24/7. People were dropping in, dropping out, dropping in, dropping out to help me. And now look where I am now, you know. I feel that I'm doing a lot better now because of all the things that were put in place. So that's what you are to expect in the NQT. It's not going to be easy, guys, because you've got a full class, and on top of a full class now, you've got to do all the things that you didn't do before. You've got to do reports, you've got to do lesson planning all the time, you've got to do all the admin stuff that they kind of said, oh, you don't need to do when you're on your PGCE. Parents' evenings, how can I forget that lovely stuff? You have reports to look forward to. You also have, if you're in year one, you have the Christmas play, or even in any other years, you've got a production. You've got World Book Day to look forward to that you get to dress up for. You've got Christmas, you know, when they're doing Christmas and you're saying goodbye to them for that term. It's really special. You've got the end of year celebrations, and the best bit is when you go into assembly and the head teacher, whoever, says, this class, your teacher is, and they say your name and they get all excited. You got all that to look forward to. It is amazing, guys. You will still have observations, sometimes more than other teachers in the school, because you're an NQT. You will be an NQT manager, making sure that you're hitting all your teaching standards, because you need to make sure you are doing that. If you are not doing as well as they want you to be, they will put things in place. They will put a support plan in place, and they'll keep supporting you throughout to make sure that you're doing well. What else? You have your own classroom. You will have everything will be your own, basically. Oh, I'm getting paid. Woo! How can I forget that? How can I forget that? You get paid an NQT wage, which is a bit less than a normal teacher salary. But when you pass your NQT, guys, you go up with them. So don't worry about it. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope that was okay. I will say that the Spanish word of the day is amigo. 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 Amigo is friend. So I'm going to say hasta luego, amigo. That means bye, friend.